Hello, everyone, and welcome to the latest live reaction to One Piece chapter 1190. As we're being left off with the cliffhanger here, where Gaban stepped in and he's clashing with Emu, as Emu was getting ready to swing the blade straight at Luffy. As Luffy was pretty much completely incapacitated. You can see him up there in the panel. Pinned against the tree with two swords. So we're going to get into this chapter and we're going to find out what's going to take place next, because this is hype, man. This part of the series that we're in, if you're not watching the manga, this is probably the most hyped I've seen the One Piece series in probably a really long time. So ever since we've come into post Wano part of the series, man, between Egghead and this arc, it's just been wow. It's exciting time to be a One Piece fan, whether you're an anime watcher or you're a manga fan, reader. These chapters are just a banger after another after another. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and get started. I have the page already pulled up. Oh, and I want to let you all know, if my connection goes out, where my mouth is not in sync with the stream, or it pops in and out like the screen goes out or whatever, I'm just letting you know my connection might not be is great right now, just due because we have some rough weather going on right now. So I'm just letting you all know in case that does occur. So I'll go out and come back in. I'll leave the stream running and continue where I left off if that does occur. All right. All right, One Piece chapter 1090. One whose death is celebrated. And the cover page has Shanks in his iconic straw. Okay, this must have been before he gave the straw hat to Luffy. Cats gather around Shanks as he grills fish for breakfast in a port town. Oh, that's Luffy behind him. I'm sorry, I didn't even see that. Luffy, a young Luffy's behind him with he's like standing in front of the fish with the cats. Okay, so this must have been in, I don't know, that's got to be Luffy, I'm guessing. Okay. Scopper Gaban to the rescue. And, yep, there's Luffy still pinned against the tree. Okay, I see the tree. Looks like the tree's being cut in half from the impact. I wonder if Gaban, I don't know, I'm trying to remember from last chapter. I don't remember him cutting the tree exactly, but I'm not surprised if maybe that's happening from the impact because he's trying to get Luffy out of there. Okay, Gaban and him both are clashing and they're, like, stepping back. Emu's staring directly at him with his one eye, sadistic eye. Gaban's just giving him a big old smile. Luffy's in agony. The tree's collapsing. Emu's just standing here with his axe. Yep. There goes Luffy. The tree's splitting in half with him on the one half still coming down. Huff, huff. Okay, it looks like Gaban's getting ready to attack again. He's swinging his axes. Oh, shoot, the two swords just popped out of Luffy. Okay. So the sword's out of Luffy now. Okay. Gah. Holy cow. Okay, Emu just took a swing at Gaban with his blade. Gaban dodges it. Whoosh. Okay, I'm scrolling down. Okay, he's hanging up on the edge of the tree limb with his one axe here. That's pretty badass. And he's staring directly down at Emu from above. What a horrendous form. You don't even seem to be of this world. Yeah, that's kind of a pretty bold statement to say to Emu right here. Who art thou out? He's asking who is he? Someone who understands the world. Oh man, he's speaking directly to Emu. And Gaban, we know Gaban was on the original voyage with the Roger Pirates when they discovered they know of the truth of the world and the One Piece and all that. It looks like he's using, is that Conqueror's Hockey? I don't know. It might be just him jumping down. Actually, I wouldn't be surprised if he is using that right now, because Emu's just staring directly at him with a dead grin. Fush. Okay, there's Luffy. The swords are out of him. He's not pinned against the tree, but he's laying on the tree limb, and Gaban's saying, hey. And he's grabbing Luffy like this with the shirt holding him up. Get up, Straw Hat Luffy. It hurts. You're a disappointment. An injured old man just had to save your ass. Don't you have any shame? Oh my gosh, Gaban is yeah, Gaban is laying it on Luffy here. It hurts, old man. Let me go. And Emu's just completely standing here like what? He doesn't even understand what's going on here, and he's just backing up. He's just standing there. Gaban's yelling at Luffy, big deal. Don't get cocky. Luffy's in pain. So you have a shiny white form and become an emperor? Question mark. Do you know what will happen if you cloak now? You may as well. You're pathetic. Let me go. Oh, I'm not gonna die. Do you want to die here? Man, this reminds me of he's giving Luffy prep talk is what I'm thinking here. Like, yeah, he's giving Luffy like a prep talk here, and I guess kind of scolding him for having this form. Gaban knows who he is. He knows the Nika power. Luffy doesn't understand. Luffy still doesn't. In this part of the story, he still doesn't know who he is. I mean, he knows he's Luffy, but he doesn't know anything about Joy Boy and Nika. And Gaban's scolding him here. I can understand why he's doing this. I guess it's to build up Luffy's character. We've seen other characters do this to him in the other parts of the series. I won't be able, huff huff, to save my friends. Wheeze wheeze. That's right. And what will happen to your crew? They'll be in danger, huff. Right. Remember when you rose up in the sea, the number of enemies targeting you only increases. The king of the pirates is a title reserved for one whose death is celebrated because everyone's gunning for their throne. Wow, Gaban understands what. Yeah, he's really upholding the king of the pirates title. He understands because Roger became it, but Roger didn't. Roger stepped down from the story to handle the mantle to the next generation because it wasn't their time yet to fulfill the. Well, those of you that know One Piece, okay, we now understand this a lot deeper now that we're in this part of the series about all that part now. And Gaban's still got him here, holding him up. If any part of you still thinks becoming Pirate King is going to be a scroll in the park, then go home now. It damn hurts. Luffy's just, I can understand Luffy's in pain, but man, he's completely railing on Luffy here. And he just throws him with one arm, and Luffy goes flying. If you're not cut out for this, you're just in the way, you stupid brat. That hurt. I'm guessing Luffy lands on the ground. I don't see him hitting on no wall or anything here. Damn old fart. He keeps on running his mouth. I'll show him. Emu's just completely standing here with just a complete dead face. Like he has no emotion at all. He's just like, I don't know. It's kind of ironic that he's even standing here and even, I don't know. This is, I'm surprised Emu hasn't stepped in to do something. He's just completely backed off. I wonder if I wonder if Gaban's got some hockey going on, and probably that's why Loki maybe is standing back. I'm surprised he hasn't tried to attack Luffy again. Hold on, pop up. Okay, I'm scrolling down. I'm trying to read this chapter in the correct way here. Okay, we got a lot going on in these little panels here, so I want to make sure I'm starting at the right part here, okay? Okay, because we're going from Luffy, him throwing him to the ground. Gaban's raising both of his axes up like this. Praying Mantis axe. Praying Mantis palm. Okay, he's swinging his blades, and Imu's swinging his. It looks like they're about ready to clash again. And Imu's just asking him directly, is this a hold on, what is this word? Just. Is this a just? And Gaban's asking him clearly, you want to kill him, don't you? Indeed. As he's clashing with him, and Luffy's freaking in the ground, laying on the ground on his stomach, with his back to them. He's still in pain, and Gaban threw him over there. He really reminds you of him, doesn't he? Man, this is a pretty interesting conversation he's having with Imu as he's clashing with him. Joy Boy? Joy Boy. Gaban knows who he is. I mean, we knew it from the beginning when we very first got introduced to him in this arc. He already knew who Luffy was, and he saw that white Nika form. I remember he complimented on it when Luffy, when they were getting the key from Loki's to where Loki was chained down in the underworld portion of Elbaf here. Okay, and Emu's staring at him directly back and asking again, who art thou? Who doesn't thou know of Mu? Okay, it looks like oh shoot, okay, he's getting ready to raise the sword again. He's getting another sword out here. Bone Eater. Formed by one of the big Japanese swordsmiths. Hold on. Let me see, what in the world name of the blade is this? I'm sorry, y'all. These are some new Japanese words for me, so I have to look some of this up. So give me a second here. Whoops. Okay. Whoops. Hold on. Let me take a screenshot of this. Hold on. Let me just type it in right here. Hold on. I'm trying to see how this is spelt. I mean, 1 second, y'all. I want to make sure I'm pronouncing it correctly. Hold on. Chishiro. Okay, that's the name of this sword, and he's okay. Man, he's got an arsenal of weapons. I mean, all the weapons we've seen Imu pull out. He's got multiple swords. He's got this swinging blade. He's got an axe. I mean, he's got access to all kinds of arsenal of weapons here. I mean, this guy's definitely a fighter. I mean, and it looks like he's pulling out that omen. Okay, he's got the axe on the other hand. He's trying to, he's clashing with Gaban now with the sword. What does Dayar know? Slash. Okay, he's clashing with Gaban with the axes. Okay, we're getting to the part of the conversation. Now Emu's towering over the top of him. Gaban's pushed back from that attack here, wielding his two axes here, and he states, I learned from Joy Boy's own words, but don't get me wrong. I have no intention of chasing after a person from the past that I've never seen nor met. I just want to see my captain's dream till the end. Yeah, he's talking about Roger, because Roger, they had a promise for the next generation, and that was Luffy. He was the fulfillment of what they were, what the plan was here, and what they were, the promise that they've made here. Cuff, cuff, Captain. Is Emu? It looks like he has some. I don't know if that's blood in his mouth or he's choking. I don't know. Okay, Luffy's talking here. Oh, stupid old man looking down on me. Come on, heal, even if it's just for a bit. Who is this captain? Question mark. Oh man, he's gonna tell him, man. That's even before I even was gonna say it. The king of the pirates, Gold D. Roger. Gaban's stating it loudly to Emu, and Emu's asking, who is this captain? Okay, so I'm guessing from the dialogue from this chapter, since we've seen the conversation, that Emu doesn't know who Gaban is. But Gaban probably knows the truth, and we know that they know that there's another leader of this, the One Piece world here. This Goldie Roger. Oh, shoot. Emu just responds to him with this, that's right. The one who ushered in this golden era of piracy. And then it looks like we're getting a flashback here of the throne. Okay. It's the great throne here in Mary Jawa, and then the 5 elders are standing below him. This is disrespectful. Why is Adi being called King of the Pirates? Do not let his name spread any further, as you command. Okay, so we're getting a flashback of Emu. I guess this is back when, this was in the days of the Roger Pirates. This must have been when this happened here. And he's directing the orders of the 5 elders here, not for them to share any. He doesn't want any info. He wants the name to be suppressed. Oh man, this is the Will of the D. This is some Will of the D stuff right here we're seeing, because the government's trying to suppress the Will of D. We know they know what the Will of the D is here. Okay, Emu's drawing his sword out again. He's got the axe here, and he's pointing it directly at Gaban, stating, and why would his former crewmate protect Straw Hat Luffy? Because you're trying so hard to get rid of him. Doesn't that explanation seem the most obvious? Question mark. Oh shoot, we're getting another little mini flashback here. Okay, we got Gaban. Okay, let me go to this part of the panel because I don't want to jump to the other side yet. When you declared a kid like that a threat, okay, we're getting into the flashback. Okay, we're on the Roger pirate ship. There's Goldie Roger with the big fluffy mustache. Eventually, someone that can surpass us will be born. We're just too early. Oh shoot, we're getting silhouettes of Rayleigh. Oh shoot, that's Crocus. Crocus here. We got Gaban. Okay, we got Gaban in the first panel, and the modern part of the story we're reading right here. We got Rayleigh on the left, and then we got Crocus on the left. Rayleigh in the middle, Crocus on the left. you may as well have announced that he is the one we've been waiting for. And then we got Whitebeard. On the left, we got Odin, and then Shanks on the right. Wow, it's all six. Okay, all six of them understand the one that they've been waiting for. Oh man, I'm getting a flashback. Y'all remember in the Marine Ford on Blackbeard's last words when he told Blackbeard straight to his face and in front of his whole crew, "You're not the one Roger's been waiting for." That's exactly what this is. This is exactly what they know. They knew. This is exactly what Whitebeard said, that he was not the one Roger was waiting for. My gosh. Man, that's an awesome panel, man, with Gaban, Rayleigh, Crocus, Whitebeard, Odin, and Shanks, all six of them together like that. So they understood the prophecy, and now I understand what what Whitebeard said in his last words. He even said it to Blackbeard that you're not the one Roger's been waiting for. Hold on, I gotta play that. I want to play that clip, but I'm gonna do the English dub of the anime so we can. I'm sorry, I gotta play it because I want y'all to hear this. All right, give me 1 second. I'm gonna play it here in a second.
It's not you, Teach. Not a damn chance. Huh? Just as there are people out there who inherited Roger's will, soon enough, someone will carry on in Ace's name as well.
Yeah, that's exactly what. Hello there in the chat. Well, hello there. I'm trying to see your name. Welcome to the stream. All right, so yeah, I was just playing a clip there of the English dub of the anime. Hold on, let me see the chat here. I have the volume so I don't hear the spoilers. Came here to say keep doing what you're doing. Well, hello there. Yes, I'm doing a live reaction to the spoilers, or not the spoilers. I'm sorry, the chapter. So I understand why you have the volume down. So, all right, I'm gonna keep going. So I'm reading the part of the chapter here where he's talking about you may as well have announced that this is the one that we've been waiting for. This is exactly what he's talking about. Wow. Well, hello there. I'm trying to read your name. Welcome to the stream. I think you're one of the very first. Well, probably one of the maybe one of the few that I don't get many viewers in my chat. So welcome. Everybody's welcome. I'm kind of a little excited. I'm sorry because I'm reading this chapter and I'm getting really stoked right now. Okay, I'm gonna scroll down and go past this part because this part of the chapter was just awesome. Okay, now we got Emu speaking here, and he's got his omen here, and it looks like he's aiming it directly at Luffy, and Luffy's still down. He's huffing and wheezing. A very valid point. We were hasty and foolish. Perhaps we simply must took numerous casualties for fate. Let us put an end to this. Wait, you idiot. Oh, shoot. Okay, Gabon's jumping in here. Gabon's jumping in here. Man, this is getting exciting here. Okay, he's trying to put that Omen that the one with the smiley face. He's trying to put it up on Luffy, and he's seeing what he's trying to do. He's trying to attack Luffy from over here. Hold on, I'm see the chat. Hold on, let me see your name. Hold on, let me get it to read your name for me. Hold on. Okay. Hello, Mohi Negi. That's your name. If you don't mind me calling you that, Mohi Negi. Welcome to the stream. Nice to meet you. I'm Psalm 91. Um, I I do live reactions to the One Piece chapters you're probably hearing here. It's nice to meet you and whoever else that's watching. All right, I'm gonna get back into the chapter here. Okay, I see Gabon here. Okay, he's jumping up. He's leaping up. Sorry, treasure tree Adam. I don't I don't want to devour you, but erg, ouch. Damn, my joints ache. This body of mine has gotten run down. That punk, I won't forgive him, even if he is Rayleigh's friend. Holy cow. Okay, Luffy's still standing here, and he's... Okay. I won't forgive him, even if he's Rayleigh's friend. Emu's, like... He's got the Omen Flame still. Holy cow. Shoot, he's launching some kind of attack. Holy cow, he's launching an attack right on top of Emu here. Hold on, let me see the name of this. Komido. I'm sorry if I'm just trying to look up some of these words because some of these words are new Japanese words that I'm not familiar with, so that's why I'm using that audio to help me pronounce it correctly. The Komudo. Holy cow! This is a massive attack he's launching, and it's like it's going in all directions. It looks like it's Conqueror's Hockey infused because I see all the black lightning, and it looks like he's about ready to clash down on top of Emus. He's like coming out from he like launched himself up into the sky, and he's gonna go come down like this with his axes. 800 slash Grim Thung, Honey Beam, Bima, yeah, okay, Bima. Holy cow, he's like launching like a multiple slashes right on top of coming directly on top of Emu here with his axes. And holy cow, it slashed the Atom Tree. Is that what you think? Emu's stating directly to Gabon, huff puff. Old as die art, still the Pirate King's crew. Okay, it looks... Oh, shoot. He's getting injured from this. Okay, he's bleeding blood. He's got the sword and the axe both like this. Trying to, like, I guess, block the attack. I could say... Okay, Gabon's responding back to him. I could say the same to you, you know? Realm of the Dead. Okay, the Atom Tree is completely coming down. I see it clashing at the up. It's coming through Elbaf here. You can see the mountains here in the scenery. It's coming down. It's clashing the parts that were just slashed from this massive attack he just launched. Okay, they're going down below exactly where... Okay, Realm of the Sun. Okay, there's Loki and there's Gerd, and he's still... Okay, he's laying down. I guess he's hearing the he must have heard the Atom Tree falling, and he's asking, "What's that?" Kuh. And they're wondering what's going on. There's Nami and Usopp, and Nami's asking, "What did Luffy do that?" And Usopp's responding, "No, it was someone else." And they're strongly, overwhelmingly strong, huh? Okay, hold on. I gotta scroll back up on the whoops. I gotta scroll back up on the panel here. I think I missed something. Wait a second. Okay, I missed this part of the panel because I'm scrolling back. So Emu was standing on top of the Atom Tree, and the Atom Tree kind of collapsed from underneath, and he stood on top of it as he slashed, and it sent the tree falling with him still standing on top of it, and it clashed down into, it looks like, the underworld. I don't know if Emu's still standing there, or I don't know. I mean, it's kind of hard for me to tell because the tree just crumbled up. I don't. He must have. He must have either gotten out of there, or he's still. I don't know if he came crashing down with the tree because the tree just completely collapsed right here on the. I think this is the final pages of the chapter. Yeah, realm of. Okay, it clashed into the realm of the dead because I'm reading the chapter here, and that's what it's saying here. Realm of the sun. And then, okay, this is when they responded. It was somebody else, and they're strong, overwhelmingly strong. And they're asking, huh? And then I see Luffy's here with a shocked face. What? Old man, with a question. He's got a question mark and 2 exclamation points. Oh, shoot. Gaban is completely, he's on his back. His axes are both behind him, and he's face back on the ground. And his arm or excuse me, this would be his arm on this side, is completely off. It got cut off in the process. One Piece chapter 1090, the end. Wow, that's a pretty interesting cliffhanger we got here, everyone. So Gaban is on the ground. Half of his arm is off. Luffy's Gaban just threw him wherever he was to the side, and he clashed with Emu, and then he cut the Atom Tree. The Atom Tree just collapsed, and it went down into the underworld from underneath from how this massive attack that he just launched on them. This is crazy. And I'm guessing in the process of that his arm just completely came off. There's his I don't know, man. I'd be shocked if he's even still alive right now because it seemed like that I don't know if this is I guess you could say he made a sacrifice to stand up to Emu to send him clashing down into the realm of the dead because he was standing on top of the Atom Trees. It collapsed like this from underneath from the massive attack he just did. Wow. So that's the end of the chapter. Wow. All right, everyone. I'm gonna give this chapter a 1 out of 10, or excuse me, from a 1 out of a 10, I'm gonna give it a 10, which is a good high rating. This is a pretty sad cliffhanger to be left at. I mean, I don't know if Emu. I don't think Emu was taken down by this. I think it might have sent him down there where he went down into the realm of the dead. If he didn't get out of the way and move to another spot because he's fast. From what we've seen in the previous chapters, Emu is very fast. So I mean, I'm just guessing and just going with an assumption here that he was sent down into the underworld with the Atom Tree from this attack that Gabon did. Luffy Luffy's conscious, but he's severely injured. Loki's still down, and they're wondering what's going on. They hear the tree clash, and Usopp's sensing stuff going on because I remember the last chapter. Um, I remember the last chapter. Him and Jinbei were both sensing what was going on. And that was quite interesting to me. Um, so I mean, this cliffhanger here, I'm wondering if the next chapter we're gonna find out what exactly happened here. I mean, this is getting very crazy here. All right, I'm gonna look at my chat here. Do I have any other messages? Hello again. Who's your favorite non main side character in One Piece? Mine is Senior Pink. My favorite non straw or non that's a non straw hat like a main character. Let's see. I kind of like I don't know. There's so many characters in this story to pick from. I'm trying to think of a character that comes to mind. I'm trying to think of a character I can give you. Because there's just so many in this series. I mean, um, let me let me look up a character real quick that I can think of off the top of my head here. Let's see. I kind of like dang, who's that character? I'm trying to think of his name now. He's probably from pre time skip. It was he was the old man from a Long Wing Long Arc. That's who I'm trying to think of. Way back then, I'm trying to think of his name. It's coming to me. Hold on, I'm gonna look it up real quick since I have my computer up here. Hold on, let me see. I'm trying to think of his name now. It's probably gonna come to the top of my head because it's been so long since I've read that part of the anime. Or actually not read. I've watched that part of the anime and I've read that part of the manga. Hold on. This is his name right here. Tonji. I like Tonji. He was kind of a interesting character. And that arc, Long Wing Long arc, had a lot. When we were in the flashback with God Valley with like the Davy back fights and all that stuff, it was pretty interesting because it brought back a lot of like a lot of parallels of like reading about that in the past story when the Straw Hats were having a Davy back fight with the dang the Foxy Pirates. That brought back a lot. Okay, let me see. You have another message you wrote down here. One Piece of anime is coming to Netflix where they're gonna remove filters and improve the anime. What do I think about it? I guess I don't know. I'd have to give it a try. I'd have to give it a watch. They've completely changed the anime around since this year, and they've cut the series where we're not getting it. I don't know, like they're changing the whole pace of how they do the episodes because I remember for the entire duration of the series since it started way back in the beginning that it was every week to week to week, but now we're getting it week to week to week, but they're kind of cutting the schedule in this year of how they've done Elbath in the anime and everything. I'd have to give it a watch and I'll let you know what I think. It might be a lot faster paced. Thinking about that, if they removed all the fillers, because the anime does have a lot of fillers in it, and that's probably why it paces it out longer between arcs. Because I remember like in yeah, that guy, that's who I'm talking about. Yes, yeah, Tonji, yeah, the horse guy. yeah, he was an interesting character, and I feel like he knew. Like I remember reading the chapters back in that arc. Like he I don't know. I feel like maybe he knew some things, being as old as he was. I don't know about Nika in particular, but I remember he made some references to. I'm trying to remember. He made some kind of reference to Luffy that kind of made me think of Nika now. Back in that part of the series, and that's why I kind of liked him, and I thought he was a pretty interesting character back then, and he had facial hair too, because a lot of the old characters in One Piece, particularly when they're of older ages, they're a lot of them are usually depicted with a lot more facial hair than they when they're younger. I mean, I'm in my 30s, so I guess we're not, I'm my early 30s, so we're not, I'm not quite old yet. I'm that yet. Well, it's nice to meet you, and I hope to see you in some of my next live reactions. I don't see any other I don't see anything on the it's indicating on the scans here for we're getting a break next week. I guess maybe I could look further into that. I know that there was something going on with the Shonen Jump. I think this month where they were going to have a break. I know that this past week, the week before, we didn't have a chapter. So I don't see any. They didn't. There's no indication here on this on the scan here at the end of this chapter about anything being about a break. So I'm guessing we're gonna have another chapter next week, unless the information updates when they put the information out when they release the chapters. Okay, there's gonna be a break this week, or it's gonna be delayed or whatever. So I don't. As of this live reaction on the stream right now, everybody's watching. There's no official break that I'm seeing. It's just this is the end of the chapter, and possibly we're gonna get another follow up to this next week. So I'm gonna leave it with that. I hope that each and every one of you all enjoys the stream. And I hope to see you back here. It was nice to meet you. Again, and whoever else that was here. I'm God bless each and every one of you. And remember John 3:16, for God so loved the world, he gave his only begotten son, that who should believe in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. So I'm gonna leave it with that. I have to get going now. I'm already about 40 minutes in. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, let me read your. I have another message coming in. Before I get off, I'll answer whatever you were going to ask down here. What year did I started? Hold on. Let me zoom in the box here because I'm trying to see the screen. You're asking what year you started watching One Piece or started reading the manga first. Okay, I'll give you a little bit of my story of how I got introduced to One Piece originally. It was years and years ago. I saw the anime first before I started reading the manga. It was probably back in 2000 and I was a kid actually. Okay, I was a boy. I was a kid, and it was probably back in like the 2000s. I saw a prom. It was actually a promo for One Piece, and I was watching another show because back then we had Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball and a lot of some other anime shows back then. And I remember seeing the preview for One Piece when One Piece very first aired the dub, not the sub, but the original, like the very first dubbed uh start of the series, not the Four Kids dub, because the Four Kids dub has it's really edited out. It was on the original Cartoon Network on Toonami, the Toonami block. I don't know if you remember Toonami, but you could probably look it up. It used to be on Cartoon Network many years ago, and that's how a lot of us that are from the United States got to introduced to anime, was through that programming. So One Piece aired around that time when I saw it. I think it was right around 2004 or 5. So that was like 20 years ago. Okay. That's how it got started for me. I saw it as a kid. Now, on the promo, I remember it had Luffy bursting out of the barrel, and they put like this. They had the announcer on the promo saying that get ready for this next exciting show that's going to premiere. A Straw Hat Boy is going to be bursting out of a barrel. And look, at first, I wasn't sure if I was going to like it or not, but when after I saw the first episode and the first couple episodes, I got into it. And then I'm trying to remember the exact episode when Smoker when they had the flashback with Smoker, when he his flashback of when he was a boy and he witnessed Roger's execution, and the way that they did it in the dub and they made it sound, that immediately got me hooked onto One Piece. And I originally was following it for many years. There was something that happened, I think back in 2000 and I think it was 2000 and I'm trying to remember what year it was, but there was a year where they stopped airing the anime, the English dub, because the dub had not catched up to the original Japanese anime at that time. So they had stopped right around the Skypiea, right in the middle of the Skypiea arc, which was you probably remember Skypiea with Anel and the priest when the Straw Hats went up into the upper yard and all that. And I think I was in like middle school at that time. They they abruptly just stopped airing it, and I was wondering, why do they stop airing it? I was getting into this, I was like, what's going on here? And I was kind of a little bit beat down, but then a few years later, I started to read the manga. Probably I've been reading the manga for maybe 14 or no, I think maybe a long time now, maybe 12 to 13 years, maybe a little more than that. I kind of started to read the manga and I got in right around the Punk Hazard going into the Dressrosa arc. That's when I started to read the manga. And then I saw that the anime, even a couple years before that, I started rewatching One Piece right around that same period. I got back into the anime and I started watching the subbed, because it wasn't in English, it's in Japanese. You have to read the subtitles in English. I started to read that original the part where how do I explain this? Right when Luffy and them were coming in the beginning of the right before they departed for the new world, right then and there, when everybody was returning, like at the end, like the very beginning of post time skip, right after, I think right at the end of the flashbacks of Sabo, Ace, and Luffy, that part of the post uh, Marineford arc. That's when I started to read or not read. I'm sorry, watch the anime. I got back into the anime, so that's when I started getting catch up on the anime right around that time, and then I started watching the anime ever since. And then I started to read the manga right around then too, right around that period I was referring to. That's right around when I started doing that. And then now this year, I've officially have started my own live reactions and doing this channel. So um, I would have started back then, but I just wasn't really quite ready. I had to have the proper setup and everything because I don't have a lot of money, so I kind of had to just work with what I have, and so I'm making the best of it. And now I'm able to finally get in because I didn't want to wait. Because we're look, there's still a lot of One Piece to come because this series is so long, but I've been in it for so long. I'm like, okay, let's. I want to join in and start doing live reactions to the chapter because there's a community of people that enjoy this, and um, I just want to join on in and be a part of it because I've been following this for so long. I just figured, what the hey, let me just come on and just start doing live reactions and see how it goes. And so that's how I've started it. I'm sorry if I get a little winded. It's just it's a lot to remember because I've been following this series for so long, going all the way back for so many years. I mean, this series has been going on since I was a kid, growing up. It's been that long. I mean, and I know that there's some people out there that complain that One Piece is really long, but if you haven't been following it as long as some of us have, don't try to just watch it all in one, like a bench watch, like to try and just watch it straight through. You have to take, like, you got to watch like one part of the series at a time. Like, for anybody that's starting One Piece, I always say to take their time. It might take them some time to catch up to where we are because the series is so long. I know that that's what some others have complained about the series of One Piece and why they don't want to get into it because it's so long. But I'll tell you, it's worth it. I mean, I've been watching, reading the manga and the anime for so long now. It's like you're hooked. You can't like just get away from it. I mean, it's pretty. I'm just glad to be a part of it because this is a very great series. There's so many stories of so many people and what this series has done for them, and it's just incredible. I mean, this is probably why it's the number one rated selling manga that there is in the world out there. And I think the popularity of it has really increased over the years, way back from when we were growing up with it back in like the 2000s. And I don't know about Japan so much because they're kind of a different they're different than we are. But I'm saying in America, I think that it really started when it first aired here when we got the American dubbed anime. That's how I got introduced to it. I'm sure that there was some others in the states if they weren't reading manga on the internet back then because that's kind of how we just like today back then that's how we there was only certain websites that would cover Shonen Jump. So unless there was people following Shonen Jump back then on the old internet, back in those days, that's how they probably were seeing. Well, they would have been able to see it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, totally worth it. People don't say I don't want to watch because it's so long. Well, I recommend it to anybody. Just give it a chance. If you don't like it, you don't like it. If you do, you do. That's how it is with this series, and how I would say it's for anybody. I mean, anybody that's getting into anime. I know it's kind of a not as short or long paced as like Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball because a lot of us we like before I even saw One Piece, the very first animes that we had back and like way back as far as I can remember ever watching anime, way before I was even into any manga at all. Particularly, I'm mostly into One Piece manga here, but anime in particular, Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z was like the very first major anime we had in the United States. Back in the day, it started like back in like the 1990s. They started airing it, and then we had I think I'm trying to remember whatever shows there was. Sailor Moon was another one that was pretty popular with a lot of the like girls that were growing up that same period and stuff. So I'm just saying that was the equivalent of what we had back then. And there was probably some other ones like Gundam and all kinds of other animes that I'm probably not thinking of. Naruto was another one that was popular right around the time when One Piece first came around in the anime. Right around the time I started watching the anime and saw it for the first time. Naruto was another one that was popular as well because that was the first time it aired here in the United States. Um, so yeah, that's a little bit of my gist. I'm sorry if I'm kind of going on a tangent here. It's just it's probably a long story. I know I probably gave you all a long story, but that's how it started for me, and I've been following this ever since. And I'm glad some of y'all have enjoyed it. Even if you haven't been following as long as we have, but there's some out there that have been reading, that have been maybe have been watching and reading it for as long as we have. I don't know. I mean, One Piece is a great series. I have nothing bad to say about it. I mean, I understand the pacing is slow, but you got to give it a chance. That's what I would say to anybody that wants to get into this series. So I'm going to leave it with that. I have to get going now. I hope that you all have a blessed rest of your day, and you all take care, and that you enjoyed the stream. And I hope to see you all in the next live reaction. Um, and I will end it here. So God bless and take care. And uh, as they say in Japanese, I think it's Maranatha. Is not Maranatha. No, that's Hebrew. I'm thinking of Maranatha. It's actually Serenata means goodbye in Japanese, and then goodbye in English. All right, everybody. Take care, and I'll see you all in the next live reaction of One Piece chapter 1091. Hold on, I got one more message here. Do you think NL will be back? He did say that he will be back at the end episode. Good day. Um, you know, I remember when we got into the earlier chapters when we first got into the Elbath arc here, I wondered if he's going to come back as well because the when Frankie was shown the big the lure of the Atom Tree and all that art we saw, it did depict a boat that looked very similar to what NL had when NL escaped Skype after Luffy had defeated him and rang the golden bell. So I think he probably is going to come back in this series at some point. And also, I want to mention this too. I don't see anybody talking about this in any of the channels that I follow on here on YouTube, but the One Piece channels is that nobody's talking about the one last supernova we don't know nothing really about, other than his connection to the Sky Islands and stuff, and he hasn't even met Luffy, had any encounter. We haven't even seen him since, like, as crazy as this sounds, we haven't seen dang, the Mad Monk, is it Urge or Shurge? I'm trying to remember his name. We haven't seen him since Kaido fell off the cliff when Kaido was very first introduced in the manga and in the anime, years and years ago now. I wonder if he's going to come back at this point in this series too, because nobody's talking about him, and he's the last supernova that hasn't been he hasn't really stepped into the main story, other than we've seen him since um Sabaody, and he came in. Yeah, he was on the Sky Island where Kaido dived off the cliff and he crashed where Kid and Apu and Hawkins were. Yeah, I think NL will be back at some point in the series. I don't doubt that for a second. But anyhow, I gotta get going. Yeah, Serenata. God bless and take care, everybody, and bye bye. And I'll